Hello, everybody. Welcome to another meeting about LL.M programs in the US. Today, we will have the opportunity to hear from Jean-Marc from Notre Dame University. And we are very excited to learn about the program at Notre Dame, to learn about LL.Ms, to learn about the possibilities for Brazilian students. And we'll possibly have one alumni joining us, Mateus Silva, or Marco Silva, I don't remember for sure. So Mateus, excellent. And we are very excited to hear about his experience as well, if he's able to make it. So thanks once again, Jean-Marc, for making the time to be with us this evening. Sure. And I'd like to pass over the word to you. So if you want to get started by introducing a little bit of yourself and the program, we are happy to hear you. Thanks a lot again for making the time to be here with us.
Sure. Thank you, Claudio, for the invitation. I really appreciated that. And sorry again for my for the technical issues that I'm having. But, you know, the thing is, we are on. All right. My name is Jean-Marc Brissot. I am a graduate of the LL.M program, and I'm a 2008 graduate. So I got my LLB degree, my bachelor's degree from State University of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and in 2004. So in 2007, I came to Notre Dame to pursue my LL.M degree, which I did get in 2008. So after that degree, I decided to do an OPT. It stands for Optional Practical Training for another year. So I spent another year here at Notre Dame. And I went back to Haiti to practice. And also I got a job and I became the director of a program that was funded by Notre Dame. So in 2020, April 2020, I became the program manager for the International and Graduates program. So I am so happy to be with you to share a little bit of background about the program, what we have, what we offer, and also what you know you would like to know. What answers do you want me to would you like to have based on your questions? So with that said, I'll go ahead and start with the program in itself. The LL.M program we have here at Notre Dame is two prongs. One is the Hrlm program, which stands for Human Rights LL.M. These programs really started back in early, 40 years ago when Father Hasberg went to South Africa to during the apartheid era, and then he asked, what the president, what can I do to help? And he was asked to train my lawyers. So he said, okay. And then he came to Notre Dame. At that time, he was president. He's a hero here. Been president for 37 years. And then he started the Civil and Human Rights Center, which is now the LL.M program. And this program actually have trained more than 400 human rights lawyers in over 100 countries around the world. So it's a well-reputable program. And each year we accept about 15 students, international students. Usually we would have one US lawyers to join us, but exceptionally this time, for the human rights program, we didn't have any Americans. It's all international. We have 7 students from the African continent, one from Europe and Ireland. We have 2 from Colombia, one from the Dominican Republic, and We also have two LLM program, LLM at Notre Dame. One is again from Africa, and the other one is a U.S. citizen. So just to say that the LLM program has two, and then the Hrlm, which is the Human Rights LLM, it's an international human rights program. It has 13. So we also have a JSD program. The JSD program stands for the Jewish Science Doctorate. So you get that after you get your LLB. So you do not really have to have the LLM per se. So you can go straight from your bachelor's degree and then you apply for the JSD. But if you have an LLM, it's a plus. So it admits this program, the JD program, the JSD program admits one student every year. So which is a program that is very competitive, right? And it is paid for as well. And if the student bring money, this is great. I'm sorry. And if the student doesn't have fund, so again, it'll be taken into consideration. If the student's application, satisfy all the criteria for admission, the student will be admitted and the study will be paid for. So, like I said, for the program, when you get in, you have to satisfy 24 credit hour. 24 credit hour can be like 12 for the first semester, for the fourth semester, and then another 12 for the second semester. However, depending on the student, the student can go, up to 26 or 27. But again, it has to be discussed because we suggest really that the student sticks to the 24 credit for the human rights. So to complete both programs, the Hrlm and the LLM at Notre Dame, students have to take some compulsory courses. First of all, in the first semester, students have to take international human rights law, it's like intro to human rights. Students have to take introduction to the American legal system, and also LLM legal writing and research, depending on the student's interest. Also, we have a graduate seminar that the student should be taking. And then finally, we have international law that students should be taking. So all these are compulsory courses. However, we have a lot of elective classes that are available for students to choose. Again, it's based on the student's interest, because in the field of international law, some students may be interested in pursuing a career in civil and political right litigations, maybe advocacy for economic, social, and cultural rights, or working in the government. So that's the reason we are having this graduate seminar, so that students can have a feel of what they want to get involved with. Like myself, when I graduated, I went to court for 2 years because it was something that my country required. But after that, all I did is advocacy work. I work for non-government organizations as the general manager. I advocate to pass a law based on medical aspects. So it's when you are a human rights lawyer, you're not just a lawyer who can go to court. We have lawyers that have gone to court, but also we have lawyers that have gone to the legislative branch to be advisor to the legislative branch, to the executive branch, to be legal advisors to the executive branch. We have, on matters related to human rights, and we have graduates who have who are currently working at the World Bank. And we have graduates also working at the Inter-American Bank. We have graduates pretty much everywhere, working everywhere. I mean, this is just to tell you that with an LLM degree, you're not just trained to be in a court of law. I mean, it is good to be litigating, right? Litigating for the right cause. Yes, it is good, but also you can be working for NGOs. Let's say just last week, we had the executive director of Hrlm. I mean, most of you may know what Hrlm work entails. They are doing social, civil society advocacy. They are defending people who have been whose rights have been violated. They are also involved in environmental rights. They are involved in economic, social, and cultural rights matter. They are doing also advocacy. They are doing training. They are doing a whole bunch of things that is related to human rights, but without just going to the court of law. They do go to court of law, but this is not just what they are doing. So this is on the part of the human rights law. And now we are going to talk a little bit about the LL.M at Notre Dame program. The LL.M at Notre Dame program, it's a program that really started maybe 10 years ago. And this program, you may choose to concentrate, your study as a student. You may choose to concentrate your study in a specialized area. For now, we have 4 concentrations, right? The 4 concentrations that we have, one is fundamentals of American private law. The second one is intellectual property law. The third one is business and tax law. And then the fourth one is real estate law and environmental law. So those 4 concentrations are offered just for the LL.M at Notre Dame. And then in addition to that, students who do not see themselves in either one of these categories, like fundamentals of American private law, intellectual property law, business and tax law, real estate, environmental law, they can choose to to do their own concentration. That's what we call it, general LL.M. They can choose based on their interest to do something on, just international criminal law. Just if they want also to practice in the United States, this is also possible. And therefore, in order to practice in the US, there are a set of courses that students should be taking for bar exam eligibility. Although it is not guaranteed, but students who are interested to sit in a bar examination in the US, they are also encouraged to evaluate how the requirement to sit in the bar fits the concentration requirement that they choose. So therefore, it has to be something. If you have in mind to practice law in the US, you have to take courses that will help you sit in the bar, that will help you pass the bar exam. So again, for the LL.M at Notre Dame, you will, as compulsory courses that are obligatory, you will have to take the introduction to American legal system. And for this one, you have to take legal research and writing for the LL.M at Notre Dame. So for the LL.M at Notre Dame, we have 2 tracks. The one track is an introductory track. This is mostly for international students. It's about roughly 18 hours of courses, plus the 2 courses that I just cited, the Introduction to American Legal System and the Legal Research and Writing. We also have an advanced track. The advanced track, it's still 18 credits plus the 2 that I said earlier, but also you have to take a private law theory and private law workshop. This is the 2 that also added to the introduction to American legal system and the legal research and writing. So this is just for the advanced track, and the advanced track is mostly for students who have been educated in the US and who have a JD and who would like to have LLM in one of the 4 concentrations that I mentioned earlier. So I don't know if I want to get into the details of how many credits and which courses for each concentrations that you might need. But for now, I think I will go ahead and talk more about the process of getting your application done and ready to be submitted. Is that okay, Claudio?
Yes, please. That definitely is something that we very much look forward to learning about, because through the several interviews we've done so far, it has been very interesting to see that, for example, most schools do accept applications through LSAC, but several of them also accept applications sent straight to the university. So we are always curious to know how each university deals with that. And please feel free to share how it works.
Wonderful. Thank you, Claudio. I mean, this process of the LSAC process, I know it's lengthy. I know it may be costly, but one thing that it allows the schools to do is to put all the package in one vault, and that's one. The second thing, they assemble the documents. The third thing they do is they translate the documents. The fourth thing they do is they make an evaluation of the documents of the degree, which at the law school, Notre Dame Law School, we don't have, which services that we don't have, okay? We don't have the evaluation services that LSAC provide. Let's say a document come from China, for example, with any countries that doesn't have the alphabet that we are used to in the West here. And then what are we gonna do? Do we go ahead and hire someone who speaks Arabic or Mandarin? You understand what I mean? So that's the reason we have stayed away from getting documents directly from applicants. However, if the applicants send the document to LSAC and then the law school then receives the document through LSAC with all the translation, the letters, the diploma, all the required documents, if they get it and then there's something missing, then the law school can reach out to that applicant. If it is an interesting applicant, then we can ask for more information to be sent directly, because all the documents have already been translated, evaluated, and put in the vaults for Notre Dame. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the reason we have stepped away from getting application directly. And in order to help with that process as well, we at Notre Dame, we have waived our fee, our application fee. So the only fee that is left is the LSAC fee. So we, as Notre Dame Law School, we do not have any application fee. So if there are questions on that point, Claudio, I'm willing to answer. Otherwise, I'll start with the date.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that. It does make a lot of sense that you use LSAC, and thinking that that's the service they provide. So it makes a lot of sense. It's definitely something to be looking into. Well, I think that regarding applications, we didn't receive any additional questions here, but just out of curiosity, I believe you probably request the same documents that most other universities do. So your transcripts, you also require some kind of like statement of purpose or letter of motivation or interest. So this is kind of how you do your application, or is there anything maybe too particular to Notre Dame that is not regular in other courses?
The only thing I would say that we have and other schools may not have is the statement of why Notre Dame. Why do you choose Notre Dame? Because us at Notre Dame, it's all about training a different kind of lawyer. I mean, we want to train lawyers that will go around the world and do good around the world. Okay, so the degree that we are providing should be adaptable to broaden the functions and roles of human rights lawyers, while at the same time embracing the wider scope of universal human rights. By situating ethics and moral deliberation at the core human rights decision making. So we want that to be something that students value. And as you know, we are a Catholic institution, right? It doesn't mean that the student has to be Catholic, but we have our own set of values, and we want to make sure that students that are coming to this program, they value the Catholic tradition, they embrace the Catholic tradition, the Catholic values. So we want to make sure that students are not like lost. They are aware where they are coming, and that's why we have this statement: why Notre Dame? Why do you choose Notre Dame? Does it fit is it mission fit? What you want to do, is it mission fit? Does it really embrace the Catholic mission and tradition? So that's why I'd say that's the only thing that we have, in addition to the transcript and the letter of motivation and letter of reference that students may be sending to us.
Okay, excellent. Okay, it makes a lot of sense, and that's something that we are always recommended to do, even though sometimes we don't have like an essay just to write about it. We always recommend people to just add something of like, why are you choosing this university, right? Exactly. So it's very interesting. Exactly. It makes a lot of sense, and it's very thoughtful of you to always make sure that the students know what they're getting themselves into, or exactly if their mission and their ideas and purposes fits the one that the university is looking for. Very nice. Well, that was about the admissions. We are always also interested in learning about program starting dates, and also some other details, maybe regarding. I see a question in the chat here, so they're asking about tuition as well. So if you could share with us a little bit about this, about starting dates and fees.
Sure. The tuition, it changes every year, but it's all based on the market, as you could imagine. And for now, it's about in the 60,000 for tuition. And
for the year or the semester?
No, for the year. Okay. And also for I'm trying to fix my screen here. Sorry. For living expenses, it's about 18,000. So any human rights lawyers, who apply, if they are qualified, there's tuition available for students, but just for the LLM program. For the LLM at Notre Dame, that with the 4 consultations that I told you about, there's no tuition yet available. Therefore, students will have to come up with the tuition themselves. The application process has already started as of September 1st, and you have until March 15 to send in your application. And by April, end of March, I would say, all the decisions would have been sent to students who have already applied. So that's pretty much it. Again, for LLM, there's partial and or full funding, but for LLM at Notre Dame, there's not any funding yet. Yes, March 15 is the deadline, correct.
Oh, excellent. Yes. So regarding this funding that you mentioned, the scholarship, I guess, right? Is it just a tuition fee waiver, or do you have any additional things to it?
No, it's all included. The tuition is 63 plus the 18,000 for
living expenses.
Yeah. And
nice. Okay, so living expenses plus tuition. So it's a
exactly
real scholarship.
So, I mean, you can go online. I'll send you the link, and you can go online and you get all this information. Let me do that right now. And you get all the information that I just said about the tuition and also the fees for the LLM program.
Okay, very
nice. For the tuition is 63,840, and fees and everything else that will make it up to $85,000, $86,000.
Very good scholarship for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, so the Avalos Brazil Fellowship was discontinued?
Yeah, for now. We were not offering it. Last year we didn't offer it, and this year again we are not offering it. So hopefully next year, I don't know, because the pandemic really hits everybody hard. So that's why we have not received it yet. So once it becomes available, I will let you all know, and then you can apply for it. But again, like I'm saying, if any of you would like to to send the application for the LLM at Notre Dame, just bear in mind that you have to come up with the cost to pay the amount of money that is required to. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Well, if you don't mind me asking as well, since we already have some people here and this will be recorded, and people could be available in the future. So when you're making selections for the Avalos Brazil Fellowship, are there some specific traits that you are looking into future possible candidates?
Not really. You should be treated as anybody else.
Yeah. I mean,
you just have to be Brazilian, I guess.
Okay, so I totally understand that, but then you just look into a pool of all the Brazilian applicants, and then the one that has the best application. So that's
exactly
the idea?
Correct. Yeah. So it's like if you are not, even if you are qualified for as a Brazilian, you qualify, but if the whole application is not up to standard, if it doesn't meet the criteria, I mean, we just cannot award it to anybody. It has to be a Brazilian, and the person also has to be qualified for the program. And like I said, tuition, you receive tuition. If you qualified, you receive the $63,000 or $64,000 tuition. That's a good deal. It's a pretty good deal.
Yes, indeed, it is.
Yeah.
So you were mentioning about the dates. So when does the program start?
The program starts the second week of August of every year. Last year, Because of COVID, we wanted to start a little bit earlier. We started on August 10th, and we ended in early May. But this year we started August 23rd, and as a normal program, as a normal academic year. So we are just expecting to finish as normal. And then last year, even with COVID, we did everything in person, and this year again, we are in person. So, it's like a normal year for us.
I know, right? It's very interesting because I think you mentioned that you have very small classes, right? So there's not a lot of students.
We have 15. The cohort, the LL.M cohort is 15, and the Hrlm is 2. It's just 2 students.
Very nice, very interesting. And just asking, since you mentioned the bar exam, will the Indiana bar accept LL.M students, or that would be for like California, New York, and the other ones that will accept LL.M?
Yeah, DC, California, and New York.
Okay, very nice to know. Wow, extremely nice. Well, very, very happy to learn about, the mission and how you the idea of the Hrlm came about. So that's so nice to hear. Maybe to wrap up or something like that, I also know and heard that Notre Dame has one of the most active religious freedom clinics in the nation, right? Do the LL.M students get involved in some of that as well?
We launched it last year, and then again, it's one of the greatest achievement. And we have also the director of the Religious Liberty Clinic is currently clerking at the Supreme Court. So this is great, right? And we also have the Exoneration Clinic, which is helping people who have been on death row to get out of the detention. So we are really doing good around the world. Like I said, being a Notre Dame lawyer is not just getting the degree, but it's also being a different kind of lawyer around the world to help the world. So this is what it is about.
That's excellent. That's awesome. Well, are there any other programs that the university maybe is running as well? I just got a question here asking if you have a minimum TOEFL score that you're looking into for those who are applying?
For what? For TOEFL?
Yes. Is there
TOEFL is 100, minimum 100.
Okay. Yeah. For both of the LL.Ms?
Yes.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, very interesting. And I was also very happy to learn about the JSD program. I didn't knew that it existed beforehand, so very nice to learn.
Yes, the JSD program is one of the best because it's been around for so long, and we every year we have one student that is admitted, like I said, and currently in general we have 10 JSD candidates. Some is in the 4th year, some is in the 3rd year, some is in the 1st, 2nd, So we have currently have 10 that are getting ready to submit their dissertation and to defend their dissertation. So we're working on it. We want more applicants. We want to have a pool of applicants that we can choose from for next year, not just for the JSD program, but also for both LL.M programs.
Fantastic. Do you also have an early decision date or a priority deadline?
No, we don't have that. We want to get all, because the thing is, most students, they are from abroad, and we also understand the hurdle of getting documents abroad, right? For me, being from Haiti, I know how hard it is to get documents, right? And being cognizant of that, we want to give everybody the same chance to gather the documents and, to send them, and then we make an analysis by February, March, and by April, everybody knows already what their fate is.
Well, Jean-Marc, thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if we have any other questions. So please, if you are watching and you'd like to ask me to ask anything else, just send it in the box. Okay, so Fernanda just asked when the results are out. So the date for the results to come out?
The what?
When the date, so when people will be notified about their decision about the application, if they were accepted.
Like I said, it's usually with by the beginning of April. That we notify the decision of the committee.
Okay, very excellent. Well, once again, thank you so much for your time to share with us this information. I'm sure it was a very informative session, and thank you so much for letting me record it as well, because I'm sure that people will want to learn about it later on as well. So we have been about 40 minutes now. So once again, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you ever need to, pass any word to the Brazilian applicants, I'll be happy to continually share the work of Notre Dame. I connected with your global center in São Paulo, and it was very nice.
Okay.
All the people there were very friendly and welcoming. So thank you so much for all of that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Claudia. And thank you to everyone who was in attendance. Thank you very much.
Thanks everybody once again. I hope you all have a good night.
Wonderful.
And we'll see you soon.